Looking good. Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Love tour people.
Cool. So I'll be manning the presentation. Alex will be talking. Let's get started.
Awesome.
Right?
Ready.
Right.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Quick little intro on the Noitom slider thing. So obviously for those of you that have been joining us and know all about it, right? Noitom is all about motion capture for all, right? And so we're continuing to do that with Replikant in democratizing, right, the ability to do content creation, easy content creation with affordable motion capture technology. And so, this whole presentation isn't going to be slides, but it is going to be vital in terms of some of the things that you guys are going to be able to see and take away as we move forward. So, next slide is what is Replikant, right? So Replikant has been in beta for some time. It's actually founded by a company named DNA Block. They're based out of California, but their team is actually spread out around the world. They're a fantastic team. And so what Replikant is the world's most user-friendly 3D animation visual production platform, right? And one of the key things that I want to emphasize throughout this whole presentation is that this right now, as we're presenting it and as everyone is going to be able to get their hands on it, is that this is a Noitom exclusive, at least for a period of time, right? So if anyone is a Perception Neuron user, if you're a Perception Neuron Studio user, Perception Neuron 3, this is going to be the equivalent of Halo for the Xbox. It's Zelda for the Nintendo Switch.
That's a big claim.
Nathan Drake and God of War on PlayStation, right? These are things that you're not going to be able to get elsewhere. And so that partnership is significant because we continue to strive for affordable and accessible motion capture technology. So with Replikant, you're going to be able to revolutionize your storytelling. And so we know that we have a lot of different partnerships, right? You can use iClone in your 3D pipeline software. You can use Animate. You can use Maya, 3ds Max, Houdini, all these different pipelines that are currently existing and work with Perception Neuron. And they're also free and accessible, right? So one of the things is that we try to continue to work with all our different partners and vendors to give you the best tool set and the best sort of fundamental pipelines that you can start working with and creating with. So next slide.
Next slide, we have a little quick audio demo and performance so people can see what's going on.
Awesome.
Hi, Chibi. Have you ever wanted to make your own cartoon?
No, I'm really more of a book person. What would you make a cartoon about?
Having a robot as a best friend?
That's horrible. That's the best
overacting,
you can do.
though.
Hey, leave me alone. I'm brainstorming here.
I'm not gonna judge you on the terrible acting, but it's expected,
Hi,
most people
Chibi.
don't know
Have you
that.
ever wanted to make your own cartoon?
Daniel just played a quick
No,
little video.
I'm really
You can
go
also
for the
find that
orange
on our
cartoon.
Instagram.
What would you make
We're
a
starting to post a lot more videos
All right,
about
whatever.
Replikant. But you could also find Replikant videos directly on the Replikant IG page and their
So what
YouTube
is
channels.
this?
They have a
Is
ton
this
of
like some
tutorials
kind
and
of
sort of like pipelines of introduction to
complete
technology. One of the things
performance
that's
capture
extremely unique about Replikant
solution?
is it's sort of like real-time creation process. And so built sort of on the backbone of Unreal Engine, if you're someone who's already an Unreal Engine user,
Voy a hacer la
it's the
pregunta.
ability to sort of storyboard very, very, very quickly and iterate. So you're still gonna have lighting, camera angles, environments, asset props, all built into the software, which you can essentially drag and drop and use your storyboard pipeline to do everything with. In addition to that, it's the ability to start creating and switching around your characters as you want. So there's a unique ability to start changing clothing, facial expressions, hair, even adding metahumans into that pipeline, which is one of the coolest things that we've seen, right? So for someone who maybe may not have the technical knowledge of
For somebody who doesn't have the
3D
technical
and wants
knowledge,
to get started, or
working with
you know,
metahumans
might
is
think
the
that
worst thing
learning
that you can do
Blueprints
unless
or
you're
learning
willing to
C++
work with
or
the
any other
same
3D pipeline
exact
might be too
characters
difficult.
with the same
You can
exact
absolutely start to
hairstyles
storyboard.
because you
So
can't
this is
customize the
opening
clothing,
up,
you can't customize
the
the
ability to
hairstyles.
start
You're
creating
pretty much
3D
stuck with what they give
content
you
instantly without any barriers.
unless you're willing to just
anything
work
that
with
you
the
wanna
basic
add to that, Daniel?
characters. I mean, getting into metahumans
Oh no,
is
that's
probably
all.
a
I think
terrible
that
idea
covers
for
a lot
somebody
of
who doesn't know what
the
they're doing.
information. I think we'll just jump into the quick UI so that users or anyone out there can get familiar with what we're
What's
showcasing
this?
today. So it's user-friendly UI, super fast.
Looks like
it's really
Daniel
not
is
nothing out
using
of
one of the
ordinary.
old strap
You got all your
systems.
tools in this UI.
But it's got
so you
the
can build
new
your
sockets on
storytelling.
it.
So I'll give you a little bit more room
Okay.
to
Oh yeah,
talk
that's the
about that as well.
$5,000.
Yeah, absolutely. So the UI for Replikant, as Daniel mentioned, is extremely
Perception Neuron
easy.
Pro.
It's sort of plug and play as you can make it out to be. So you sort of start, and we'll walk, because we're actually going to do the live presentation. We're going to kind of show you everything. But the UI itself sort of starts with what you want it to do, right? So whether you want to create a quick storyboard, whether you want to have a little bit more in-depth in the creation of your environment, or whether you want to do a live stream, right? So if you're a VTuber who wants to start streaming out and wants to do content creation and wants to have a secondary display where you are outputting your video feed for your live audience, and then you're switching characters, environments, assets, props, whatever you're interacting with, you can do that from the back end in streamer mode within Replikant. So it's an extremely versatile tool set. And again, we're kind of showcase this for you as we do it live. So next slide, Daniel.
Cool. So the next slide is just talking about pre-orders. We can talk about quick order
Yeah.
of what's going on, and then we'll do a quick demos. So this is essentially the pre-orders that are going on right now.
Yeah, so we actually soft launched this on Friday.
Okay, so it's out of
and
my
we've sort of
price
been
range already.
teasing it for a little bit. So
Oh, wait,
if you were on the
software only.
website maybe like Thursday or Friday and you kind of looked at the Replikant page, you might have stumbled upon our pricing already. In addition to this,
Yeah.
there's a whole homepage banner that kind of showcases a little bit of the Replikant
So
video.
this might be
you know, a quick
just
content creation
for
process. But essentially, right now, what you're going to get
the
available
Studio
today
Pro,
are two bundles,
the
right? You have the
Perception-
Perception Neuron Studio bundle,
Perception Neuron
which
3.
comes in at $8,998, or you get the Perception Neuron 3 bundle, which comes in at $4,999. Why is that important, right? Because right now, what it gives you the ability is to get a Perception Neuron Studio suit, right, with gloves, that also includes the facial capture helmet that we have included and the software, right? This is your savings, right? I'm trying to think of what that number is. It's well over $1,000 on what you're getting for the software and helmet
Okay, so the
combined.
Replikant 1 year
And then for the
license. So this
PM3,
already
you
implies
also
that
get
it's
the
a
PM3,
subscription-based
the gloves, the helmet, and the
thing.
software included, right? So one thing that I want to note is that Replikant is an annual-based software that we're bundling it with an annual licensing, but you can also do it as a month-to-month. One of the things that we're going to kind of point out is that right now, the
$99
software
a month.
standalone bundles are
$1,200 a year.
But for the hardware bundles with the software,
better know how
you
to
can
use
purchase
this
today.
right
We will
away
ship
if
you
you're
your
gonna
Perception
use it.
Neuron 3 or Perception Neuron
Wow.
Studio kit right away, plus the helmet, so you'll get that in hand within 3 to 6 business days, since we ship everything out from our studios here in Miami.
this software
and then the software, as soon as
already-
it's ready, we will
I don't
send
know
it
about the
out to you
pricing.
with a
We have
code
to look
for you
at the
start
software
working
because
with. Something that is available for the
feels a little
software
bit
that
on
you'll
the-
see is that for the annual licensing or for
Who's
the
gonna
monthly
buy this,
licensing,
you know?
it is $999. I don't want to necessarily scare anyone in
$1,000
terms
a
of
year.
pricing, but it is extremely powerful. And so
well, yeah, if
there's
you
a
know
lot
what
of
you're
thought
doing,
that
but
if you try to look at the software as is right now, what are you looking at, right? If you look at an Adobe Creative Cloud Suite, about $65 a month. If you look at like
$30
Canva,
a month for
example,
the entire
also
suite.
on a monthly basis. These are tools that I like
Adobe.
to compare to what Replikant is because it gives you that all-in-one solution, right? So from storyboarding, content creation, output, to video feed for content creation, you're having an all-in-one software. So we're extremely excited about this partnership. We're extremely excited about the exclusivity in the beginning for our users and our user base and the new users that are going to come on board because of Replikant and this combination with Perception Neuron. With that said, I'll let Daniel kind of take it to the live portion of what we'll be doing.
Awesome. So I'm just going to walk you through the simple process of getting everything ready from doing the calibration, getting over into Replikant, a little bit of an introduction on the UI as well, so you can get comfortable with. So let's go ahead and switch over to this camera so you can see that we're doing this all in real time, which is super important. We want everyone to have the best quality out there. And we're just going to set up the Access Studio. So I'm going to ask
I'll hold my
Alex
comments.
if you can
I'm
just
gonna
run
wait to see
the
what's
Access
going on.
Studio application there for me so
Absolutely.
we can do calibration.
So Daniel already calibrated for, this isn't gonna be a perception tutorial, but Daniel pre-calibrated already, right? He did his figure 8. We've got our space set up. So now we're gonna do calibration to stream everything into Replikant. So first things first, we're gonna do full body calibration. And in this case, we're gonna do the walking pose included in there. So I'll go ahead and let Daniel do it. This is T-pose.
I'm a little sweaty because I just did a workout on my
boom,
VR.
Boom, 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 boom. Then he's gonna go into his A pose. 3, 2, 1, hold. Then he's gonna walk. 3, 2, 1,
Okay.
walk.
This is the one I've always had
And again,
question
we're
for.
using
1,
Perception Neuron
2, 3, 4,
Studio in
5,
this demo,
6.
B pose. But you can also, the same UI works for Perception Neuron 3. So if you're not familiar with the architecture that we have for our hardware, we have a unified software that's included. So PN3 and PN Studio will work on the same software. And so again, we're doing all of this live here for everyone to see. And so yeah, Daniel, you can see him live on the screen, moving around in real time. And so we'll take things into...
So we're gonna jump into Replikant.
Nice.
So this is the introduction that you get for UI, the UI
Yes.
Replikant. Super easy. We have different processes to go into easy story mode. We also could go into a new project where we're gonna do a lot of things manually if we want to. So a lot of things have been thought out very well so users can understand the quickest way to get forward and started with the mocap. So we're gonna look at the easy streaming mode because that's where we want to focus on and getting mocap data right away.
One thing that you can point out, Daniel, within here is that one of the things I reiterated already is that Replikant comes with a lot of preset assets that are available to you guys, right?
Yeah.
So what you're seeing already in the window is
I mean, but if
for
you're creating
a 12,
anything
16
original
scenes
using all
and
these preset
environments
assets,
that you
it's
can
just going to make
instantly
you
start working with,
have your
right?
product be exactly the
even
same as
within
everybody
that,
else's.
There's
So
specific
it's one of those things that you gotta
assets
try
that
to
you can
avoid,
alter, bring,
especially if you're
adjust,
paying
change,
$1,000 a
to really
year
start creating with.
to
And
have
so,
something that looks like everybody else's.
The only,
So that's not really a
the
selling
limit
point.
is your imagination, right? When you think about it, because here you start with a baseline.
the
and
limit
you
is your
can completely
budget.
Change this to be a fantasy world, an office like there, your streaming space, newscaster, VTuber environment, cartoon animation, storyboard,
PM,
animatic,
have
whatever you
auto
want it to
clean
be.
data like the
Your
absence
teacher in a
handlers.
classroom, you can do that too. So you start with this base of 16, but you have full freedom and control to really change and construct whatever you want to do.
So there are a couple of things that we're not going to point out. We're working on tutorial videos for you as well to get started and up and running.
You're gonna need a lot of
So
tutorials
don't
before
be
you start
afraid. We're
spending,
gonna have a
guys,
lot of
because
videos
if you're
for
gonna
you
be spending
upcoming in the future.
$1,000
So
a
we're
year,
slowly gonna
you
work
better
on
know
some
what you're
basic
doing.
Scenes here. So let's select here, for example, a nice office scene that we just want to get started with. When I hit create,
Now, my thing is,
going to jump into the UI.
If this allows me to
UI
bring
is
in my
super,
scene
easy
from
to work
Unreal
with. You see that
Engine
we
where
have
I
different
piece everything
little
together,
options at the bottom where we
everything
can
is
work with
easier to get, it's
scenes.
more
We can work
affordable,
with stage
and allows
mode,
me to
actor,
iterate through
crop,
different changes
mocap,
in
and
environment
sequence.
before I can
So the process is from left
get to
right,
what I
which
want to
is
be.
Super,
If I can get those
friendly for
environments
everyone to
into
understand
this,
that side.
that's
So we
definitely
can
a selling
change
point.
Scenes. We can start staging the characters. We can start.
But if you have to
moving
go into
different
Blender
characters
and
if
get
you
one
want,
item at a
builds,
time, or go
as
to
you can see,
Turbo
like a
Squid and buy
storytelling.
one item at a time
We can also
to piece
customize
together your
different
environments,
characters. We can select
probably
the different
not-
packs that they include.
not
with
something
different
that
application.
I'm willing to pay
We can also
$1,000
work
a
with
year
different
for.
props as well. We can bring in simple
Especially
geometry.
because
We
my
can do some
time is
free,
more valuable than the
pre-installed
money.
geometries
You know,
like
the amount of
extension.
time that I spend learning
Let me go ahead
something,
and
that I
make
spend
sure that we're
doing
in a
something,
widescreen mode here. And then we can
it's
just
far
jump
more
into
valuable
mocap,
than
which
any
is
money
where
that
we want
goes,
to
like
focus
physical
on
money that
today's
goes
video.
into a
So
project.
here in the following UI, you can see we have two different characters. We also have on the left-hand side, we have different inputs for a character. We have a male and a female. We're going to focus on the male here, which is Kendrick Bailey. Let's go ahead and get started with adding mocap data. And the way we're doing that is if we go into Access Studio, we're sending the data essentially from a BVH data output here, real time from our application. Everything is set up here as such. And we're going to focus on Replikant here. We have different sources to select from. We have the body and we have the head, for example. And if I go and
You cannot bring your own
maximize that, we have
characters.
different,
The amount of
inputs that we can-
It's a very
customization in
similar
Replikant
sort
is so
of
powerful.
UI
You can
input or
give
like
your
a,
character
I guess, a
unique
data
look.
structure in terms of what you bring in to like iClone. So for those of you that do
Right.
use iClone and are familiar with the way that perception neuron data comes in, it's a very similar way where it's the head or the body and then the hands, right? So again, very similar in terms of that infrastructure for bringing in the data that you would see from our motion capture system.
Right, and we can also input audio input as well, so you can have dialogue, obviously. So we're gonna look at the body data. So we're gonna input the body data here from Perception Run. That's already set up here. We're gonna select the character here, CHR01. And you can see that's essentially being in real time. I can walk around in the scene, and you can see that this is essentially real time. All right. We can move the character in the scene as is. There's really no render time to wait for. The scene is just ready to go, right?
That is ready to go, as Daniel mentioned. So what's next? Are we going to add anything else?
So the beauty of this is that we can also add the face capturing, which is what everybody likes to do. We want full dialogue, full face capture. Also, like I mentioned, we're going to select the head motion here. We're going to activate that. And we're going to be using the live link for this example. We're going to be using the head mount, as we mentioned earlier. So hold that for me so I can show that to the users. This is the head mount that we've been talking to you guys about for the past couple of weeks. This is an excellent head mount so that you guys can use with iPhone X cameras. And this works well with our suits. This is compatible hardware with any solution that uses live link. So I'll go ahead and let's go ahead and set that up.
Yep, so I think we're already live because I can see that my face is already being tracked. So you can see that on the character already of Kendrick Bailey that we have. And again, as Daniel was mentioning with the helmet, this helmet is included with the bundle, right? So you're gonna get a full motion capture suit, you're gonna get the bundle for the helmet, and you're gonna get the software. So everything that is happening live, real time right now, you yourself are going to be able to get your hands on, which is fantastic, right? Essentially an all-in-one, minus the iPhone, but you can use anything that's an iPhone 10 up. It will work. So now I'm going to go ahead and position the phone in Daniel's head, right above, the way that we do it, because we use this as a mirror-based system. Let me go ahead and slide that through. Oh. Sorry, Daniel. I am going to ask you to lower yourself just a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. One moment as we put this in, the fun of doing things live. But feel free in the meantime, as I get this on Daniel's head, to send any questions to us in the chat. There we go. To ask any questions, and we will be answering them at the same time. So, Abdiel, any questions in the meantime?
Yeah, we want to see finger tracking.
Okay, finger tracking. Daniel's got it. I saw that there was something about bringing in characters, which as of right now, Replikant does not allow for any outside characters to be created or be brought in. However, there's a lot of preset things that you can customize and create in here, and I'll kind of showcase that. So you can kind of understand the work for what that looks like, because you do have a lot of customization. Abdiel, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are going to be able to bring in, for example, like logos and some texture maps that you can use, right? Correct. So again, we have this character of Kendrick Bailey right here. I'm gonna go to my actor, right, which is my character right here. And what I can do is, like, within this preset and everything that's here, I can essentially customize entirely. So let me go to actors. We've got all the mocap, everything that's taking place. And if I wanted to change my character, let me put next, for example. I'm gonna go here and change what I want him to look like, right? So instantly changes essentially like the face, the clothing, and if I just wanted to change, for example, like the shirt in real time, now the shirt is changed. I can go back to refresh my live link, my character. Oh, there we go. So environments, assets, all can change. Even metahumans can be brought in, which is fantastic. So you can work around. You got your face, Daniel.
Yeah.
You can
Make sure it's working.
Yeah, you got it there. Let me go ahead and connect for the face. Let me refresh that.
This is here.
Source. And live link face, go ahead and move around. And the face is going, perfect. So it's meant to be extremely easy for someone who does not have maybe a lot of 3D background. Example, like me, I can instantly start imagining scenes, environments that I want to interact with and things that I want to bring in, which is a lot of fun. I can do
it's fun,
customization for these characters as well. So for
conflicted,
example,
man.
like the shape, the body size, we have this character that's right here.
I'm
And I want
conflicted
to change
because,
his face.
yeah,
I
there's
can
a very
drag and
powerful
drop
piece of
whatever I
software,
want it to be from.
but I can see that it's very
animals to something
limited. I
that's
mean,
fantasy
you
and blocky,
have presets,
to maybe like a cartoon character.
but if I'm trying to
and
make
let's
a
say I
film
wanna
of a
mix these things
boxer
in together,
with a
right?
black
I can
eye,
instantly do
boxing
that in real
robe,
time. So it looks a little like
boxing
Wreck-It
shorts,
Ralph.
I'm
right?
pretty sure I
Little
can't do
blocky,
it.
Little,
And they
little
all
Martian
have
Manhunter
this
over here. 3 little
distinctive
pigs.
cartoon
He's
shape.
got the face. He's got everything
So,
taking place, and it's again
unless
extremely,
you
extremely
specifically
powerful. So
are
all these
looking
body
for
presets
this
and sizes,
Pixar
I can also
cartoony look
change what's taking place. So if I want to
in
make
a very
him
limited
really
style,
muscular, I can
because
do
you're
that.
not
If I
gonna
wanna make
like
him
this cop.
kind of
Let's say-
skinny, I can do that too.
let's say,
and the clothing can all be adjusted
he's
as
gonna
well.
go into a
So,
house
like,
to
if there's
rescue
something that
somebody.
is kind of going
You're not gonna be
through
able to
over
tear
here,
part of
maybe
his
it's
shirt
clicking
off,
through, you can adjust
or
to
like
make sure
burn marks on
that
his
the
face,
clothing
right?
kind of fits your character properly.
So
One
you
of the
can't
super
say
cool
that,
things about this
you know,
is that once you're recording a scene and using it,
the limits of your
and you don't like
imagination,
the way
all that
something
stuff,
looks,
it's
you
expensive
don't have to go ahead
software.
and reshoot the whole thing over again. You can
Super
absolutely
limited.
100% just click on the character
It
that
doesn't
you've recorded
allow
the
you to
scene
bring in
with
your custom
and change your
characters.
clothing, change your look, change your style.
And
at the
it
click of a
doesn't
button.
allow
So it makes
you
it extremely, extremely powerful in terms
change
of what one is doing.
the
And again, there's a
style.
lot of different layers and things
Because
that are
it looks like
available,
it's all
that
using
you're
the
able
very
to
same
do.
exact
So
style.
from the clothing standpoint, again, I can switch this
It's nice,
right
it's
around.
nice.
If I don't like
And
it, I can
it's like,
deselect
it's
it.
like what he said.
I can put,
It's
a
fun.
beard on this character.
So to me,
you know, if
this
I
is
wanted to change the
almost
way that he
another
looked, give him a long beard.
very
And
expensive
again, you
video
can even
game
customize
for
this
people who
for
want
your,
to play at
Nathan, if you
animation,
just step
who
to
want to
your right,
play at
sorry about that.
filmmaking,
If,
who want
so you
something
can
more
completely
expensive
customize
other
it,
than
so it makes
those
it really easy.
filters
And
that change your
environments and
face
assets
into
too.
a
So,
Peppa Pig
same
or
thing with
whatever
your
while you're
scenes, right?
doing
If
your
you're doing something with
YouTube
your scenes,
videos.
let's say I want to add a prop, right?
Look at that, that's beautiful though. The
And I want
camera
to add
and
something
the
that, let's say,
the
a
depth
bunch
of
apples,
field on
right?
the
And I want to
camera,
lay them
the
down on
fidelity
this table
of
right there.
the
There we go.
motion.
Apples in
It's
front
really
of this table,
nice.
right? So it's
And based
super
on his
fun to play
movements,
around with. It's something that we've been
there's
obviously
a
constantly
very
exploring
minimal lag
with the
time.
Replikant team since the beginning, and it's something that they've been using.
Which
there's
tells
been
me there's
so
still going to
many
be a little bit
different
of lag
iterations
time
of
unless they
software,
figure out a way
since we
to
started using it.
resynchronize
And
it. So
now
if you
it's
have an
sort of
external
in that
microphone
final
connected
stage
to it,
available for everyone to use. It's been in
your
beta.
voice is obviously
And
going to
so we're
sound
super excited about
or carry
the
a
ability
long
for
time
our user
before
base to
the
now start
movement is
working
actually
with
registered by the
Replikant,
software.
and start using it.
I
Sorry.
got a quick
Yeah,
important topic. You know, one of the important things that you need to have for this application to work, that you have good, clean, live data, which is what we're doing throughout this whole.
You're gonna have to have clean
entire,
data.
Video for you guys. This is real time. If you have a mocap suit that does not work very well with real time, you're gonna have trouble in cleanup. This application just receives the real time data, and basically our mocap data is streaming, as you can see.
really
super
good. And
clean,
like I
super
have the perception here on
reliable.
3 suits
you
and
can
the
see-
PN32
basically you can see
ones.
my contact points,
And
there's no
by
jigging, there's
now,
no pops.
I
This
would
is
have already
the core,
been required to do another
fundamentals of
calibration. That's
perception.
just been my,
You know,
my
we're able to
history,
send
my,
this data
my experience with the
clean
product.
towards Replikant and able to produce
That it,
a good
it typically
content,
only
good
works in short
character
bursts, and you have to
good performance, because
continually
essentially that's what
be
you want. That's what you want for content.
be
So
recalibrating
yeah,
it.
go ahead, Alex.
Yeah,
So,
no,
I'm
I'm playing
amazed that he
around.
hasn't had to
Daniel's talking, I'm
recalibrate
playing
it
around.
since
I'm
he's
looking
begun.
at stuff, right? Because
That's
people are asking about
pretty
creating
amazing.
cinematics and things that you can do. And the cool thing is that there's all these preset cameras that are already available that allow you to start working with. So it makes it super easy. So yeah, you can create your sequence. You can create your whole thing. So like clicking into next, for example, all this thing is going to allow me to do is continue to sort of like showcase what I'm doing. So start streaming, streaming, stop streaming, playing around, and so it's for us. It's extremely powerful. So let me go somewhere else, right? We want to go to. You're a police officer. Let's go to an interrogation room, right? Immediately goes into an interrogation room, right? Like that. How cool is that, right? So like you're instantly able to kind of select your new scene, your environment, the characters that you have and you're playing around with. Actor 2 is here. And I'm playing around, right? I'm kind of like looking at everything. You can
I asked them
toggle
a
down the
question.
rendering
I
in
said,
case
looks
it's,
like the data
too heavy
fidelity
for
is
your
great
scene
and the lag is
asset. You
minimal.
can record, you
How
have your
does it
sequence,
perform with audio?
timeline.
Does the lag
But
in
yeah,
the motion
Replikant is
sync up to
extremely
the
fun.
sound
It's
being
available
delivered?
today. Actually, don't know, Abdiel. I saw this on the chat. Is there a trial period for Replikant, or do you know? We will ask. Okay, so one of the things is that it's been in beta for quite some time, and so there's been sort of like a sign-up sheet for the Replikant user base, and they have a whole Discord channel, and we're going to create a Discord for Replikant for ourselves as well. And so this, we'll find out if there's a trial version to use. Because it is extremely powerful, and I think you guys would like to play around with it and test it out for yourselves. So
I mean,
we'll
it's
keep that in mind.
definitely
We'll go back,
powerful,
to
but
the team,
that's a very loaded
especially with the launch of the
description,
standalone
you know,
software
because
versions coming out as well.
I mean, it does require. It does take a lot
Any
of
other questions that
power.
are in the chat?
It has to be very powerful in order to be able to do all that data in real time
Foot sliding.
and be able to combine
So
the facial.
there is an
with
IK,
the,
so
with the-
Abdiel is
with the
telling me that
movements
there
of
is
the
an
body.
IK solution to fix foot
The
sliding.
foot
I would assume that
contact
you can
looks
also
great.
use, assumingly, like because
the
the
data
contact
streaming,
comes,
the fidelity
direct,
is going
if you're
in
using
very
displacement or
nicely.
something, and if it matched the skeleton,
It's definitely a
hierarchy,
powerful
you'd be
piece of
able to
software.
work with that. So
But
good to know that there's
is
an
it
IK
good
system
enough
installed
for
foot sliding,
actual
and you can also
filmmaking?
use the displacement settings within
Can
Access
you
Studio
truly
to fix
make
that.
your own film?
Correct me if.
What if I'm doing a cyberpunk film? What if I want to do a Spider-Man?
So at some
fan
point, you will be able to bring in multiple
So you're very
metahumans.
limited.
Like right now, there's like 4 metahumans that are available. Could you click a metahuman for us, Daniel? Let's take a look at that. But you could also bring in metahumans. So Abdiel is kind of feeding information into my ear with the non-existent earpiece that I have on right now. He's been the one that's sort of been playing around with Replikant the most, and kind of seeing it. So loading up scene and asset over here.
The way
One of
that I
nice
see it
things
is,
that you
if
have
it
with,
has
for
a
example,
limited number
the
of sets
metahumans
to choose
is
from,
that,
a limited
with
number
the
of
metahumans,
assets, how is this different
are
from
not able to fully
fancy
customize
video
those
game?
avatars.
A
Right,
fancy,
so you
expensive
only have 3
video
body
game.
sizes if you're using metahuman. So you either have that skinny body shape, you either have the really fat
It's cute.
body
I mean,
shape,
it
or you
seems
have that
like
sort of like
a
in
very
between standard that
powerful
looks like this.
video game.
The nice thing is that you can fully customize it. So Daniel, would you mind? You don't even have to do mocap right now. Can you just kind of showcase the customization of this avatar?
Yeah.
And like the body size
So
of what you can
Yeah,
do.
animal
Yeah,
faces
so basically you
and
just
stuff.
go into customization. You can, let's go ahead and just zoom into the character here so we can see that in full. We have the body shape here that we can customize, different body portions here of the character, right?
There
For
will be
example, we can make
DLCs
them
available
bulky,
for further
we can make them
customizations.
ripped if we want
That's
to.
kind of bullshit,
You can see
man.
that the clothing may need to be updated with the different attachments that are with the hardware. We can also change hairstyles.
So
if
not
we
only are
want
you paying
to, just kind
$1,000
of,
a month,
just play
a
around
year
with it,
for
just have
this,
fun with it,
but then you're going to
not
be
overthink
buying
about what's going on here, just kind of
DLC
click.
packs. I mean, they're
and get
obviously
something going.
thinking in terms
You can
of
change the beard, you can go
recurring
full on,
revenue,
and even add,
recurring revenue
just change
model
shirts, for example, and
somehow
so forth.
continues
So
to
it's
evolve,
Really fun.
but-
There's a lot you can do. You can also
I mean,
attach
you're going to
different,
have to do
things
a
to the
lot of
character as
work
well. Let's
as
go
far
ahead
as
and
providing
see
this
if we can go
DLC stuff.
into, clothing here, upper,
It's not
lower.
that
So we're gonna
different
put some,
in a way
change this pants
to
here.
what Real Illusion does with their marketplace, or
As he's doing that,
Unreal
you're kind of
Epic
seeing,
does
again,
Unreal
just how
Engine
powerful
with their
Replikant
marketplace.
is. And again,
Except
from that
that the
standpoint,
difference is
as
that
was kind of
in the
mentioning,
Unreal
ability
marketplace,
to then bring
you have
in
a
your
choice
own,
as to
metahumans will be
the
vital for
parts
whatever
and the
product
objects
that
that
you're
you
working on,
buy
right? For
to
your
bring into
shorts,
the
your
software.
cinematics,
This,
your reels, whatever
you're pretty
you want
much
it to
stuck
be.
with what their
But
developers
now
are
you're
doing and
not
stuff.
limited
Maybe
to
they'll
what
open it up to some kind of
metahuman
market and
creator
stuff,
does on
and
its own, right?
that's
And
gonna be
those
a
body
long
types,
time
and,
coming,
and those
if
body
they're
shapes
barely at
and the
this stage
clothing
right now,
and what you're able to use,
and they're starting
here
up
you're
at
able to use
$1,000 a
lot
year,
more, of
it's
those
still gonna
features
take a
and
long time
customization. So,
before they
it's
have
basically taking all the great things that you're
extensive
able to
enough
find
market
within Unreal, within the
where you
power
can truly,
of
pick
metahuman, and then take that
what
to
you want
the nth
and
level
get to the point
of
where you can
whatever you're
truly
doing.
create your
So,
own custom
as Daniel's customizing.
And I'm saying custom
and
films
playing
because I'm
around,
assuming that you can
honestly,
make
for us,
films.
it's such a
So
powerful
far, we've
tool to
only
play around with.
seen
Are there any other questions
real-time
that,
demonstrations of
are
this,
there, Abdiel
which
or
tells me,
Nico,
okay,
that we
maybe
can
it's good
sort
for a
of answer
VTuber
in the
video,
meantime while we're here live?
but so is 10 years ago Microsoft filters and stuff for their webcams.
So I know you can customize and animate your metahuman from here. However, you would not be able
So
to
from
bring
here.
out that metahuman into Unreal. So an important note within how Replikant
What?
is currently working and the way that it operates, it's sort of a self-contained software. So
Mm-hmm.
everything lives within Replikant, other than the things that you would for IE use and work with. So you can create your projects, you're gonna have your sequencer, you're gonna be able to operate and work with. However, you're not gonna be able to take this out into
I'm not gonna
Unreal
shit
to
on
do
them. I was
any
gonna post my
further
comment in the
customization.
chat,
So everything
but
that you build within Replikant will
I really
stay
do
within
love
Replikant,
Noitom. They're
other
an
than
amazing
like the
company that
export of
created
your,
an amazing
MP4, your
product.
video, your
They've
sequence
made it
timeline that you're gonna be working with.
extremely affordable and essentially
other questions,
democratized
Abdiel?
it for people like me who don't have the budgets for this type of thing. So
How does
they're
it perform with
obviously
the audio?
partnered up with this company. And,
everything that we've sort of worked with
I'm not
has
gonna
been
shit on their
fantastic.
chat
We've
by
recorded a
posting
couple
it,
things
but
internally, and obviously you're able to see
honestly,
some of the videos that we've been posting
from what I've
online,
seen, this
and
particular
even the videos that are
software
being
is
done by the
really
Replikant team. If you want sort of like more in-depth,
nothing
what
more
the
than a
audio
very
output looks
expensive
like,
video
you can go
game
ahead
for people who
and
want
work
to
with those and
play
kind of see those videos.
at
But
animation,
it works
at moving
really,
things
really
around.
Well. Obviously, what we're doing live here is
looks
just a
beautiful.
short portion of that.
It has high
One
customization
things that I want
values.
to kind of also iterate and kind of
You can
showcase
create
is the
scenes.
fact that
You can make your
we're
character
gonna be
move and
doing
walk and talk probably. But
create sort of like a power hour of creation.
you're
with
limited by
Replikant.
what they give you. So it's no
Abdiel
different than
will
going
actually be the
inside of
one that
Mario
will be
Paint
sort
and
of
using
running
their
that,
elements to
and
produce
so it's
your
going to be a
own
new live stream session.
little
I don't have. I think we were
scenes.
going to try to start doing them next week, but at least once a week we're going to have a power hour of content creation with Replikant. And what that will allow us to do is sort of
love to
continue
see
to kind
that.
of
I
talk
would love
about
to see
Replikant,
more
and kind of
advanced
talk about
content
the
being
combination
created
that
with
we
this.
have with Perception Neuron, but just how quickly it is to iterate and create content, right? Especially on the fly.
Yeah, create content.
And one of the things that we want to be able to do with that is get our audience involved, our user base, the 3D audience involved. So we
I mean, if you're
haven't
making
sort of worked out
TikToks
exactly
and
how
you want to
this
have
is
a
gonna take place,
replicant,
but one of the things we want to be able to
speaking
do
and
is
talking.
say,
I mean, I can do that with Unreal
send
Engine
us a
right
pitch
now.
for the day. What do you
So
want to
I
see? Do
don't
you want
need
to see something in outer space? Do you
$1,000
want
a
to see a
year
Western? How many
piece of
characters do you want to
software.
see? What's the
Unreal Engine
storyboard?
is
What do you
free.
want it to look like? And we'll create that live together at the same time. Right, so that's something that has not been done before. That's something that has not been tried, as far as I know. So this
I've done it
real-time
before.
creation,
For the most
audience
part, I've failed,
involvement is something that
unfortunately,
I'm
but
really looking forward to.
would love to see them
And
try
so Abdiel,
because
who's behind the scenes, would
I
be
wanna
the
learn
one
it
that's sort of
all these different
working
things that
on
I'm doing
that.
wrong.
And so yeah, expect that to be a new series that we're going to be going and using.
Can't
It's
wait.
either going to be on Tuesdays or Thursdays, date TBD. But that'll be a new series, the content creation power hour with Replikant and Perception Neuron.
Content creation
Anything
power
else,
hour.
Abdiel?
That'd be awesome.
PN users. Unfortunately, the discount would really be sort of like that all-in-one bundle. So the software, unfortunately, we didn't really get the opportunity to dictate what the pricing was going to look like. So if you are an existing PN user and you're wanting to get Replikant, you have the two choices, right? The annual licensing for the $9.99, or you get the month-to-month at $99 a month. Again, I look at it and
Honestly,
I know that
I would
pricing on
pay
certain things could be
Maybe at the most
I wouldn't say
$20 a month
but,
for
know,
this.
It's sort of like when new software comes about, maybe something that is new to the
based
market.
on what I see here,
we're kind of looking at what
it's-
things
it's
are
very
comparatively,
powerful,
and that's
guys.
why I really like
I
to
don't
look
want to
at
diminish the
Replikant
merits
and
of
compare it a
this
lot to what Canva
piece of
is,
software.
or what
But
the Adobe CC suite
from a
is, because
professional
it gives
or
you
even
this
from
all-in-one
just
solution
a person
that you
that's
do not
interested
get
in
with
creating
anything else.
content.
And again, we have wonderful partners with
This is not worth
Houdini,
$1,000 a year.
Unreal, standalone software free. You can do things with iClone. Things are extremely powerful.
Maybe
and
$200,
useful,
$300 a year.
But for what you get here on the customization
based
level,
on what
that
you get
comfort and
as
entry
far as
point
the
to,
ability of things
maybe
that
knowledge
you're
base for
able
using
to do.
Unreal, the fact that you can use your metahumans, everything straight off the bat. I think it's a super accessible price point to start working with. And again, I love that we're able to sort of have that gateway.
I wonder if you can bring in
the
your
no-cap
metahuman,
world
like it
with-
says that you can use
that
it,
limited
but further
exclusivity
customize it with the other
perception
body
neuron
features and
hardware.
things and facial features that they have in their customization thing.
Anything else, Abdiel?
So that would be cool
Perfect.
because that would give it
Shoot
a
'em
more
our way, shoot 'em
realistic
our way.
look and feel. But that doesn't change the fact that the backgrounds and the environment still have that Pixar cartoony feel to them.
All suits are going to be compatible with Replikant. Yeah. Perception Neuron Studio, Perception Neuron 3. I think the only thing is like we haven't tested with PN32, but again, bundle-wise, if you're looking to get like, if you're an existing PN32 user and you've been wanting to sort of look for an opportunity to jump into the latest version of our hardware, if you're looking for that maybe like Black Friday deal, if you're looking for that sort of like that discount that's coming around for like pricing, honestly I can tell you that this bundle is going to offer you basically all of that at a super discounted price, right? Because for Perception Neuron 3, you're looking at, and I pointed at him, he's wearing Studio,
Yeah, it's
but
about
for Perception
$5,000.
Neuron 3, right, you're talking about the price point on its own. When you get the PN3 and
gloves.
gloves, you're already looking at $5,000. So
Yeah.
Replikant on its own, if you're thinking about the licensing, the annual licensing being $999,
You get
and
1
the
year
helmet
free.
that Daniel has on right
So
now
that
for
is
$600,
good.
you're getting a savings of $1,600, right? That's
Maybe
an extremely lucrative
it would be nice if they could
sort
give
of
us that-
package to start working with right off
That
the bat.
trial,
right?
that 1 year
someone
thing,
who's
or
like,
even
"Hey,
6
man,
months,
I need
hey, or
software
even
to
3
start creating
months
content with. I don't know what
for
to use.
those of us who already
maybe
have
I
the,
don't have that experience.
the
I want to start
Perception Neuron
creating
3
with.
suits.
But I get to have a full motion capture suit that's going to stream with Replikant, operate, and then I can still take this suit and use it
seriously
with
considering
iPhone.
getting
I
that
can still use
helmet,
it with
though.
Houdini. I can still work within Maya Motion Builder. You're going to be able to do that, right? So if you've been waiting for that like door to open and the opportunity to start working with a system, you can do that today, right? You can get your hardware today, and then we will give you the code for a Replikant as soon as it's available. Same thing on the Studio side, right? Studio, if you think about it on the standalone side, it's $74.99 to get the gloves, $1,499 to get the everything combined. So you're looking at $8,998 for those two packages together. But now you're also saving $1,600 between the helmet and the software. So again, it's super great, in terms of what we're looking at, to offer for our users. We know that there's so many already pre-existing.
Wish I could
beta
afford one of
users
those
that are
Perception
using
Neuron
Replikant.
Pros, man, because
So
I
again,
saw
this
him
is
do
sort
that
of a
entire
gateway for them to start
presentation
operating and
and
working with.
not once
and-
recalibrate.
and
That's fucking amazing.
all our users, again,
I mean,
keep in touch, ask us
talk
questions.
about
That's how
certain
we continue to
things
iterate,
where-
change, improve what we're doing.
where you,
but yeah, that's
when
kind
you
of
look at
where
the
I'm at. I'll let
pricing and
Abdiel
go,
sort of
yeah, that
interject and
pricing
see if
is
there's
worth
any
it
additional
because
questions that are there.
These suits, man, inertial motion
One time.
unit,
So I believe
suits,
that is all 5.
They
if I'm
are
not
tricky,
mistaken.
man.
So,
It requires
so
some
actors,
heavy
so Abdiel was just
processing
asking me how many actors
to
we can use
figure
at the same
out
time.
how you can,
so really the limit to this
you
is
can move
the
each
number
bone
of suits
because
that
all
you
they're
can be
doing is
using at
capturing
any given
rotation
point. So
data.
if you're using
So then they have to
Perception Neuron 3,
calculate
you can
rotation
use
against
up to 3 performers.
rotation
If
against
you're using
rotation
Perception
against
Neuron
rotation,
Studio, you can use
and make
up
it
to
all
5
move,
performers at the
combine,
same
come
time.
together to like
And
a
so
full
all those
movement.
characters are
That is
just sort
work.
of identified
I know
differently.
because
Again,
before
you
I
do
found
that
out about
pre-existing,
Perception Neuron,
in
I was
Access
developing
Studio,
my
right?
own
So
motion
the character
capture
that
suit.
Daniel was working with,
And,
it was CHR001.
the hardware itself is
You would,
it's cheap as hell.
designate your other performers,
I bought
CHR002, 003,
a box
004,
of,
and then assign that as a source
of
when you're
IMUs
using,
from
and
China
selecting the
at
output for
11
the mocap.
cents each. Each neuron or each sensor was
Yeah.
11 cents each.
Yeah.
So
Great.
the hardware
I know
is
we
cheap
have
as
a lot
hell.
of those,
And I was able to
again,
make them
thank you
work
for all
with
the PM32 love, getting us
Arduinos.
out here and continue to develop and kind
And
of
I was able to
develop these
get
partnerships
11
for our
Arduinos
users.
working at the
Again,
same time.
With the software and everything that we're building out, there's obviously
So
things that move forward.
it was starting to
again, if
work.
you've
I
been
was
sort of
getting the
waiting
data
to
out of
sort
there.
get a
And
hardware
then
SKU
you get to the
upgrade,
point where you need
I think it's
software
the
to
perfect
build a
time to
whole
jump in now
skeletal
because we're
system
really
to do
sort of
capture,
being able
to do
to
the processing
create,
and stuff. And holy crap!
what
And then
I
I
would
found out
consider
that
the
these guys
easiest
were getting
3D
ready to do
content
it. They had their
creation solution
Kickstarter
available.
going. I'm like,
And
holy
again,
shit!
Replikant
I don't
has
need
all
to
these,
do
like,
this.
cool tools, so
I'll
if
just
you
buy
wanna
theirs,
do a
you
green
know.
screen, you could do the green screen
And
out.
yeah,
if you want to
it's-
do
their hardware, their
chroma
equipment
key, you could do the same thing. If you want
bar
to live
none, the
stream,
best out there right
as your
now.
virtual streamer avatar, you can do the same thing. So it makes it super
People
cool,
think about like the
start working
versioning
with.
being better,
And I'll kind of switch over a little bit
Perception
in
Neuron 3 or
Spanish
whatever
for
being
anyone
better
that
than
is
previous
watching
ones,
us
but
in Spanish.
in all
Lo que
honesty-
estamos enseñando era el software de Replikant. Daniel está
In
haciendo
all
el demo
honestly-
con el sistema
in
del
all
Perception
honesty,
Studio
the,
y estamos haciendo todo en tiempo real. So aquí mismo con el sistema de mockup de
the
nosotros,
data from
uno
the
puede
original
movimiento
Perception
del
Neuron,
cuerpo, de los
PN32
dedos,
and
pero
PN21,
también, estamos en
PN1,
el
whatever
sistema
you
de
want to call it,
Replikant,
has
tan fácil
different
para
names.
usar. Uno puede
It's
controlar
still
las
way
caricaturas,
better
uno puede cambiar las escenas,
in most cases
los
because
personajes.
you
que
can
uno
have up to
está
4
tiene
actors at the
puesto,
same time.
la
The
ropa,
range is
controlar,
based on the range of
las cosas,
from your
las
Wi-Fi router.
expresiones de la cara
The
también.
PN3, you have like a couple meters
Y
range.
puede ser cosas que son cinemáticas.
It
Tiene
still has a lot of
opciones
strong
para
points.
diferentes ángulos de cámaras. Súper fácil para usar, tú sabes, para nosotros es una gran cosa para tener un software que es poderoso para usar y que sea tan accesible para todos los, what's the word that I'm looking for? The users that we have on a global scale, right? I can't say that in Spanish because I can't think of it. It's not translating in real time. But yeah, super excited about what we're doing here with Replikant. I think we're at almost the hour mark on the stream, which is actually surprising. I didn't realize we were here for that long. So we're approaching 50.
Because it's a fun video game.
I was not going to wrap up right now. What I was going to say is I'll give us probably another 10 minutes or so as Daniel's playing around. So feel free to jump in with any questions. Nico, I don't know if anything's happening on the Instagram Live. Maybe people have some questions there that they don't have or they can't really see. Again, if you're on the Instagram Live, make sure to hop over to the YouTube page where we have everything streaming in real time. So yeah, go ahead. What is it?
They're going to have a lifetime payment and just get a product and not a service.
Yeah, so that is a great question. And again, something that we weren't ultimately able to really sort of like decide. Replikant, as much as we love it, it is not something that we've created. So we really tried to give this sort of from an opportunity to our user base.
It's great that
an
you're
entry point
partnering
that
up
is
with
accessible. I think
these type of companies that are
what you're
providing
seeing
these
in the
type of
software,
things. And
the development time and the cost
ultimately,
of this
it's not
is,
about you guys
quite,
selling the software. It's about you
I'd say
guys
consuming
selling
and
the
grueling.
hardware.
And
I think even at $5,000, you know, if you're gonna get your Perception Neuron
if
kit,
you want to continue to support the creators that are
it comes with
developing
a
these
helmet.
tool sets for you,
So
then
fuck the software,
then
forget
go
the
ahead
software.
and
You're still
kind
gonna get it
of,
for 1 year
you know,
for free.
get
You get to
Replikant.
play around
You know,
with it.
Those things may change
You're
in the
probably
future,
gonna
but
get
as of
bored
right
of it
now,
'cause
it's
it does
operating
seem like it's just a
as
fancy video
as
game.
an annual
But
licensing or
that's a pretty good price
month-to-month.
for that kit.
Again, for everything
So-
that they've created, you know, we're super supportive of the work that they've
So
done, and we'd
that
love
kit
for
plus,
others to continue to support their
you
work.
know, the kit that they're
because
offering
their whole
with
plan
the-
and their whole ideology is to continue
with
to
the
support
helmet
this, to continue to
and the gloves.
add new tool sets, new environments.
It's
new
definitely worth
characters,
the
new
$5,000,
environments.
guys.
We talked about the ability
I
that they're
mean,
going to
that's a
want
big
to add,
savings right there.
the
Forget about the
importation
software.
of,
You're gonna get the
metahumans.
software as a bonus,
They do that with
which
a
is
larger
great. Software
support,
for
right? So
this software for 1 year.
if you liked what you saw
whether you
here,
use it or not, it
let us
doesn't
know. We're always
matter.
gonna
You
find
have
out
it
about
available
trial
for 1 year to
periods
play around with
for
it.
all of you that are watching and for
it's-
all of our other users as well.
It's a
Great
promotional thing
questions,
for
but if you
Replikant,
loved
their
it, if
company.
you liked what you saw, if you want to continue to support what you're seeing here,
And,
go ahead and reach out
ultimately,
and
as
try
somebody
Replikant.
who already
That's
owns the
basically
Perception
what I would
Neuron
say,
stuff, I don't
on the
think
software and
at
subscription
this
side.
time that spending either $1,000 a
Other
year
questions, other
or
questions.
$99 a month is worth it
Just here
to
having
me
fun with that
personally.
application. As you can see, I'm just
I'm
changing
not
different
looking at just to
characters.
play
I'm working on
around.
the
I want to
face.
create films.
I'm also
I wanna
changing the character's
create
clothing.
like real
I'm changing the
substantial
character's face.
content.
The shape of the face.
But this is
and
great.
You can see everything's real time. The shaders are real time.
You got to think
you
about
can
it.
Render this, and you can also stream this out.
If
as
you
a
have
virtual
money to
camera, which is
burn,
another feature. So
and
if
you want
wanna
an
do
easy
Zoom
way
calls, if you want to do some kind of different
to have
application,
talking
you can also
characters for
stream this
live
through the virtual
YouTube,
camera as well.
live
Just a quick
TikTok.
note on that one.
Yeah,
This is
I think
definitely
as we've been kind of
a
using
cheap,
it for
not cheap,
the months that we've
an
been
easy way
working
to
with
get
it.
in there and start
Obviously,
working. I can get the
VTubers are
software
something that
right
come
now, and
directly
within
to
30
mind, the
minutes,
ability
I
to
can be
start
live
streaming
streaming an
and being your
animated
virtual persona and
character.
avatar.
So it's
with
definitely
a quick and
there.
easy
So
software.
if that
Makes
is
a lot of
worth the
sense,
price
right?
of admission to you,
If you're someone who
Do it.
hasn't used
It's definitely
3D
worth it.
software before and you want to
If-
get hands-on with 3D software, but you don't know where to start,
you are
right?
somebody
Maybe,
who's a little bit more
maybe it's
particular,
difficult
wants to
follow
have something
tutorial
more
videos, maybe you don't know
customizable,
blueprints,
want
you
to
don't
create
know,
actual
C++,
films, actual
maybe Unity and Unreal might seem too grueling.
custom content.
Understanding Blender, despite the fact that it's free, might take too long. This is a gateway to start operating and learning the fundamentals of that.
Then
at a
don't
really,
use it.
what I
Stick
would
to
say,
Unreal
an
Engine.
insignificant
Unreal Engine
cost start
requires a little
operating
bit
and
of.
working
Don't
with,
get me wrong.
you
Unreal
know,
Engine. There's a little bit of a
a high quality 3D software
work that you have to
that
put
can
into
start
it to
using,
learn.
right? If you're an educator, right, we work a lot with schools. We have a lot of people.
Oh,
that are
yeah,
in the education
teachers,
space.
man.
If you're
For
looking
teachers to engage
your
their students.
in new
Whoa!
ways, if
You
wanna
owe me a
get,
Coke, dude. You owe me a Coke.
Engagement from your students in a faster pace. Maybe the way that they learn through traditional media and
How do I
curricula
put
might be
a-
too difficult
a
for
marker
them.
on
Here's
that?
something that is immediate script to screen. Here's something where like someone has an idea, a student has something, and says, "Hey, I want to create." You can
Yeah,
do that
it's a good
right
way to
away.
engage your
So
students,
from
man.
an education
It's like-
standpoint, you're teaching
From
them
an
the same tools
education
that they would use in
standpoint,
the
this is a
workplace,
great way to do it,
and that they're gonna be using
especially
in the
if your
workforce.
school is willing to
But
pony
now
up the
those
money for
fundamentals
it.
can be placed on something that is faster and instant gratification, which is going to propel the students to start working with a lot faster, right? Storyboarding, the hero's journey, anything like that, you're going to be able to start working with and create it instantly. Even from the broadcast standpoint, right? If you're doing virtual avatars, if you're doing a news segment, if you're, reporting
How
on the
often
weather,
are you
the
gonna be
news,
doing
whatever it is, you can do
news segments?
those things
Yeah,
live
maybe weather
here
and stuff, but the
instantly
way
change
that
them. So,
things like weather is going,
I
that's
think
all
the
gonna be
possibilities
AI
are
within
endless
the
when
next
we're
few
talking
months,
about
where
Replikant and what it can do.
You're gonna have the
And there's
Unreal
a lot
Engine
of
virtual
super
sets,
unique
AI
tool sets that are
virtual
gonna be
characters
available
doing
that, like, obviously we're only
GPT-based
scratching the surface of what
dialogue
we've
and
talked
voice
about
synthesis
throughout the live stream. There's a lot of
for
tutorials that Daniel mentioned are in the works.
for
as well
news
as
and weather type of
documentation that's
stuff.
gonna be planned.
That's gonna be obsolete
This
within
is
the next
something
6
that
months.
extremely excited for and extremely excited about the way we've been able to package
Education
and bundle
sector,
it
yeah.
all together.
Especially
Again,
if your
available
school is
for
gonna
today,
pony up the money
available
for
not
this.
just for today, but I mean
But
available
guys,
today,
Perception
today,
Neuro
you
3
know, that you
plus
can pre-order,
Replikant 1-year license.
and
It
with
comes
that, you
with
get the hardware
gloves.
right away,
It
and then the
comes with the
software,
helmet.
which I would say is
$5,000.
probably just a few
Get
short
it.
weeks away, if not
Forget about the
faster,
Replikant
for you to
software.
get your
That
hands on it.
has
So
no bearing.
If you wanna
That's just a
already start
bonus.
working with the mocap suit, if you already want to
Okay.
get an understanding,
The
of
gloves
working
alone is about
with,
$1,000 right
Perception Neuron,
now.
if you wanna
The
start
kit is
creating your
$1,000.
animations,
That's
because
already
you can start
$5,000,
pre-planning, right?
which
You can
means
already
that
create
you
your
are
animations, you
getting
can do your
the helmet for
animatics,
free
your sequences,
and a year
and
license.
record that and then bring it
That's a
into
good deal.
Replikant the same way you would do anything.
Okay?
Right? You just
So
take
even if
your,
you're not planning on using this
your
fancy-ass video
pre-recorded,
game, that's a good
VGA
deal.
stream,
So if
stream
you don't
into
have
Replikant,
the Perception
and it's
Neuron
good to go. So,
3 kit,
again,
That's
I'm super
definitely a great
excited.
kit.
I'll kind of
The
let
Perception Neuron
any
Studio
final questions kind of seep through over here
with the gloves
and we'll
and the
we'll call
helmet.
it in a
Yeah.
couple
it's a
minutes.
good deal
so-
if you have that kind of
I just
money.
want to bring up as well that we
But
do have
the
demos.
1-year
If you guys
license,
have
that's just a
more
bonus,
questions
guys.
after
I
this,
wouldn't.
feel
I wouldn't
free
worry
to
about it.
send us an email. Go to our website, book a demo. Feel free. We customize the demos. You guys have questions about it, have a particular pipeline, have questions about Replikant, book a demo. So
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. One of the things that we've actually obviously been doing a little bit as we're doing the demos is that we've actually been doing a lot of Replikant because it makes it so easy.
Based on my
to kind of
experience,
showcase. People are
guys,
like, hey,
I
what is that?
mean,
How are you? Excuse
I'm
me,
not
how are you
impressed
creating that?
with
How are you
Replikant.
making that so fast? How is the rendering
don't
looking so
think
good? How are the metahumans able to
Replikant
change?
on
Again,
its
that
own
customization
would
that
be
you don't
enough
typically find
get me
in
to
other
buy
3D
the Perception
software,
Neuron
nor
thing.
the fact that you're able to sort of
But just the
bridge
fact
gap
that you're getting
between
the gloves
clothing,
and the helmet as
the
part
body
of the
physics,
kit for
the body size,
$5,000.
dimensions, environments, all in
Get
one.
it.
Extremely
Because
powerful.
$5,000 is just what
As
the
Daniel mentioned, we have
the
those
body
live streams,
thing
not
with the
just live
gloves
streams, but the
cost.
live demos that are
I
here
have
and
mine
hosted
back
by
there
our team.
somewhere. I will
And
show
so
them
you
to
get
you.
one-on-one.
I will show it to you,
with
all the
us,
stuff that comes in,
and get hands-on.
but, I don't wanna
virtually,
walk over there right now.
with what you're seeing
But
on the hardware.
it's a good
of your
deal.
choice, ultimately.
Okay, just forget about the Replikant.
And final thing.
Just think
No,
of
that's
the
all. Thank you for
the
joining us, for
bodysuit, the
taking
gloves,
time out of
and the
your day,
helmet
just
for
watching this video. We
$5,000.
look forward
That's
to
a good
talking
deal.
to you.
And the fact that you're getting
Here's
this
our
other piece
email
of
if you have
software for a
questions,
year for
contact
free.
mocap.com.
I mean, the software itself, I don't give it that much value.
Make sure
I would probably pay
to close that in 2
$20 a
minutes.
month
Daniel
for
said
it
the thank you. He obviously
on a
gave
limited
the
basis
contact at neuromocap.com.
because
Let's see if there's any other
It does
thing.
have limited uses, okay? It's very limited in the
and
way
then,
that it's styled, the way
we
it
will call
looks,
it,
the type of things that you can do.
But
but
el nivel Gloid.
it's
Oh
super
yeah,
limited.
Thank you, Hola Planeta. That guy speaks Spanish. Hola Planeta. But cool. Let's see. Obviously, steady pack, you're talking about running, jumping around for a whole minute. We could obviously do it. We have some videos of things happening like that. But feel free to schedule a full demo if you want to see Daniel walking and jumping around for a full minute. Because this guy used to do capoeira. So he's yeah, Daniel's super great at doing some great stuff. Does the price? Let me see. Does the price for a complete suit PN3? So PN3 on its own, if you're just gonna get full body and gloves, you're looking at $4,999. So with the bundle that we have available right now at the Replikant page, what you're getting is a savings of $1,600. That's $999 for the Replikant software and $600 for the helmet that Daniel had on. So it's an awesome time to jump in. You essentially get 2 pieces of hardware, a software and hardware for free, just with that. So it's really great. Let's see, distance to the sensors. If you're using the PN3, distance to the sensors is gonna be 4 meters. 4 meters in terms of distance, it's a little antenna, and then it'll tell you, once you start walking away from your antenna, that distance, you'll see the data integrity sort of slowly dissipate. If you're using the PN Studio, as Daniel is using, you have 7 meters of omnidirectional coverage. And you can add more antennas to sort of expand that or give you a higher data integrity. Let's see. Ibis, yeah, so super great deal. I 100% agree. Like Replikant itself, that's why I think if we're able to find out a little bit on the trial software, you can give it a go. We're super obviously for us, we've tried it around for the last several months, and I'm someone I'll give you the perspective of I've been with Noitom for a very long time. Daniel comes from a 3D background. I don't. I'm always on the sales side, and I do a lot of the showcases, and these guys do a great job at giving me content for shows that I'm able to demonstrate for you guys. Something that Replikant has allowed me to do is to tell stories in a way that I haven't been able to do that before.
Yeah,
because
that's a good point.
Unfortunately haven't taken the time to learn Unreal, or I haven't taken the time to learn Blender or Unity and all these things. And instantly at a click of a button, I can now think, I can have whatever thought is in my mind.
And you can do that for a year,
conveyed onto
you might be able to pull it off, and if
instantly.
after that year is over, if you still feel that
probably a lot
$1,000 a year is worth it to you, could just continue doing
the same boat where they have a lot of ideas and want to tell their stories and haven't been able to. This really truly does give you an opportunity to do that. It doesn't take away from the power of software, again, like iClone, Unity, Unreal, standalone as they are, but I think
a lot
this
of money
is
on
such a
the
great way
stupid
to now open the doors to more
plugins,
storytellers, which is exactly what we did with the original
so much money on that. It's crazy.
Perception was a gateway to creating 3D
But to me, it was
content.
worth it. I mean, sometimes
When we
if you're
launched
trying to
the
do a
Kickstarter
specific thing,
and now with Replikant, we're able
you're
to
gonna have
do
to
the
spend
same
the
thing. The
money.
Replikant team is
And
essentially creating that same pipeline.
that's just the way it is,
and opening up the doors.
They have free
for
plugins
storytellers
for
all over the
Unreal.
world.
And
so
I still can't figure out how to use them.
So hopefully that
having
sort of
spent
answers.
those
It wasn't necessarily a question; it was a great
$1,000 on
comment.
those plugins.
But that's why I think Replikant for me is so important. In terms for hope,
I could do it for free in
sorting
Unreal,
out the
but
magnetic stuff. So
yeah,
we're constantly
spending
always
that,
working on
$1,000,
our magnetic
$1,500 on
interference
those plugins
software optimization for it. There's a lot of
iClone
cool
was definitely
little
worth it
things
for
that we
me.
have in there, from environment scouting and location optimization, and we have obviously right now we're on Access 2.11. So we are going to be releasing new. Daniel's phone shut down, so I can't read any new comments. But no, we're constantly updating the software. We're on version 2.11, and with that, we're going to be, when 2.12 comes out, we're going to have new updates, new features that are going to be available. And I think that's one of the cool things, that we never stop updating and changing what we're doing. And obviously, you're able to see that with the partnership that we have with Replikant. With that being said, as Daniel's finishing his jumping jacks, I want to thank everyone that joined us today on the live stream, for everyone that joined us on the Instagram Live. Stay tuned we'll probably do a follow-up newsletter right after this. Again, for those of you that were watching and for those of you that weren't, or will see this afterwards. In addition, we'll make an announcement on when we're going to be doing the Power Hour with Replikant. There's a lot of fun things that we're going to continue to do. That is going to be a series that I think will be ongoing for a very long time. And then final thing, if you guys are going to be in Japan or if you are
ask him
based
about
in Tokyo,
maybe doing a Power
we'll
Hour
be
with
there,
Unreal Engine, but
December 6th
I don't
want to
want to distract them from their. I mean, this was about Replikant. This is about their partnership
that we have planned with Ximmetry.
Replikant. So
again, thank you so much for
I
everyone that joined us here
marketing, man.
today.
I understand how
looking forward to
corporate thing
getting
works.
whatever
I'm not gonna
questions,
fuck 'em up on
emails,
it.
people
I'm gonna let 'em
joining the
do their
Discord
thing.
channel that we have. Again, would not be able to continue to do what we're doing here today without all of your support. So thank you and see you next time.
Noitom is doing some really, really amazing things, and I really respect them as a company. And I'm very excited to see all the things that they're doing. That's a pretty good deal, guys. You know, regardless of how you feel about Replikant, like I'm not impressed personally. I'm just not impressed at all. But regardless of how you feel about it, that is a great deal. $5,000 for the bodysuit, for the helmet, for the gloves. That's a really, really great deal. Then you're looking at 1 year, so basically looking at another $1,000 that you would have otherwise spent on that Replikant thing. And I'm willing to bet that year starts whenever you sign up for it. So technically, you can kind of sit on that. Okay, you don't have to register for that yet until you're ready. And at that point, get your year started, use it. Then you'll know what you want to, do with it. If you get the most out of it, I don't know. I mean, that's you guys. I already have the suit. I already have the gloves. I would love to get the helmets. I built my own solution, which seems to work for me. I'm very curious to use theirs because theirs has the weight distribution and stuff. The one that I'm using is the $20 Amazon thing that hangs on your chest with the phone up here. It works fine. I'm not able to do capoeira on it, but it works fine. Yeah, man, ultimately, forget about the Replikant thing. If you've been wanting to get yourself a motion capture solution right now, hardware, right now is a great time. I spent $5,000 on the gloves and this things together and the suit together. Now you get the gloves, the suit, and the helmet for $5,000. That's a great deal. So I don't know what to tell you. That is a great deal. Replikant aside, that is a really good deal. So it definitely seems to me like something fun to do. Friends are going to come over. You're going to want to show off your motion capture suit. You're going to want to do your little YouTube videos, showing off what you can do with your motion capture suit, little fight moves, little skipping around or whatever, dancing, do it in Replikant. You're going to want to do that because I've seen it already. I've seen people do it in Unreal. I've seen people do it in iClone and stuff. And this is just another avenue. But it's an avenue where they don't have a marketplace available for you to buy content packs from. They said that they're going to have them, but it's probably going to be from the company itself. I don't know. Maybe they're going to work with independent artists to do a marketplace for those type of things. Or I don't know. It's a lot of quality control stuff that takes place when it comes to opening it up to the community and having people upload stuff to them. We're going to have to see. I mean, Real Illusion has a lot of fucking issues because of that. And we shall see. Jeez. All right, so I'm going to sign off. This was good. I'm going to sign off. And I definitely encourage you guys. I mean, forget about the Replikant thing. If you've been looking to get a motion capture suit, a Perception Neuron 3, okay? The other ones are way a little overkill, $9,000 it's still a pretty good value if you're gonna buy the suit with the gloves. Those things are super expensive. Okay, I think it's like 12 or 13,000 or something like that for that entire kit. The way that I see it, I don't remember. I haven't been keeping up with the prices on that higher end stuff. But the Perception Neuron 3, it's a decent piece of hardware with the gloves and the helmet. That's nice. $5,000, even without Replikant. You know, if I was in a position to do it, I would do it. Right now is a good time to do it. But yeah, well, we'll have to see where they go with this Replikant thing. I'm gonna sign off. I've been talking too much. I feel like I got diarrhea of the mouth. All right, bye.